Okay, good afternoon, Engineering 151 class. This is Professor Mohsen Zadeh. I'm back again. I took a break a little bit, and I'm going to create a second video for the shock assembly project. This solid model, we call it pivot, okay? Pivot. So let's start. We go new, and then we type the file name pivot. Okay, that's a pivot. And we are ready, and then turn on the plane, and we're going to create this solid model on the sketching plane will be the frontal plane, and we're gonna go and say sketch view. All right, beautiful. And then we have to get rid of all this filter. We're gonna put the center line in here, and then the center line on the x-axis, and we're gonna create a circle in the middle, and that circle has a radius of 106. So we're going to click on the automatically the Creo parametric indicates the diameter. As soon as you sketch entities or geometric shape, is going to give you a weak dimension, a random dimension called a weak dimension. It's fascinating that in the Creo parametric it gives you the temporary dimension, a random dimension, and is asking the designer, the operator, to change that dimension to a design dimension. Whatever your design is, the size of that hole is going to be, or that solid circular or semicircular shape. To begin with, they give you the diameter. Okay, that's a diameter. The arrow is pointed toward, from one point to another point, the circumference from this point to that point. The total is the diameter. So I know that I need to cut this 360-degree geometric shape that is a circle. If we're going to remove portion of the circle, then it's not 360-degree, so we need to give radius. Radius is always it's a half of anything less than 360 degrees, we call it a radius. So I'm going to use the normal, and I'm going to give a radius of 106 as specified in our design, 106. Okay, beautiful. So we have that. Next, I'm going to create a rectangle somewhere here. Okay, as long as it's symmetrical. See that? The two arrows. All right, symmetrical. And the thickness of this is going to be 32 for this pivot, 32. And the distance from the top surface, here to the center of this circle is going to be 132 millimeters. Okay, beautiful. So everything is nicely done. And if you look at the total dimension here, it says it's a weak dimension. We're going to type our own dimension, which is 650 millimeters. Now I can move this to the a little bit, organize the dimensions so you know where you're at. Okay, so that's your dimension, 650, 32 for the thickness, 132, and the radius of the circle is 106. Okay, all right. So now we're going to maybe create a line somewhere from there to connect to there, and then I'm going to create a line from there to there, and now I'm going to do a little bit of trimming. Okay, so we're going to trim this piece. So using the left mouse and just move, see that? If you move close to this entity, see that? It's going to trim. See that? A trim. It's so simple. It's not that difficult. So now you see that our radius now, it's fully defined, and that's a half a circle, so that's a radius. Next, I'm going to place a fillet, okay, on both corners here, and the fillet radius is it has a dimension of 50. Okay, make sure you pick. Okay, just this is something that I've seen the students make mistake. Please do not use the corner, okay, the corner circular trim. Use the circular. Don't use the first one, use the second one, which is a circular trim. So we don't want the leftover corner, because that causes a little bit problem, because it's going to give you a bunch of weak dimension, and you say, why I'm getting a weak dimension? Because you have those little tiny continuous line that is going to define the corner of the original corner. Okay, all right, so I'm going to use the circular trim. I'm going to click on this line and this line, and that radius is going to be 50. Double click on that number, you say 50. And I'll do the same thing for the fillet. I remember I told you not to do this On the previous things I said do the round, but that's okay. On this you can just use the fillet. Okay, all right, so it's up to you. You can just wait and use it in the solid mode, but since I've already started, I'm gonna just show you that here. Okay, this is the fillet. We go 1, 2, and since this is equal radii, I'm gonna click on equal under constraint. I'm gonna click on this curve or fillet and curve. So now we have equal fillet radii. R1 equals R1, and then this is tangent, 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 tangent. Our sketch is fully defined. We're gonna continue. We're gonna give it. We're gonna extrude that, and the extrude dimension is going to be 250 millimeters. Okay, right there. We're gonna go check, and then we're gonna click on. We're gonna create a hole that goes all the way through here on that surface. A sketch mode, or we're gonna put a circle right there, and the diameter of that circle is 150. That is later on you will see that 150 millimeter diameter is gonna match the diameter of bushing that we're gonna insert on here. Okay, there will be a bushing that goes into this one here. So we're gonna go check and then reverse the arrow. We poke a hole all the way through, and we are happy with that, and check it. So that's what we have. Okay, so that's it for time being. That's a pivot. Now on this surface we're gonna have 4 holes. Okay, 4 holes, and we're gonna go extrude, placement, define. We're gonna put 2 holes on this side. Let me just change this to no hidden so I can show you what I'm doing here. So I have 1 hole here, and then another hole. Just follow that, same radii, and then we're gonna give it dimension. The dimension is 62.5. That is 62.5 from the center to there, and then from this diameter should be the diameter of the hole should be 25, and the distance between the center, the distance between center of this hole to center of this hole is given as 125. So we are happy now. See that? Slowly I'm getting rid of the weak dimension because that's a weak dimension, and these are the strong dimension. Okay, all right. So the dark blue means a strong dimension, light blue means weak dimension. Okay, so the next thing is to give one more dimension. This is like you're in algebra class. You wanted to define the point on a Cartesian coordinate system. And in order to define the point in the quadrant, say the first quadrant, second quadrant, third or fourth, you have to give x and y components or coordinate so that it knows that where the dead center is. So I'm going to go from here to here, and I'm going to place the dimension there, and that should be 75. Now we know that these 2 circles are located in this collinear with each other, and they have a distance between them of 125. Since I made these 2 circles equal, these 2 holes equal, and so and I gave the dimension from the center to this edge 62.5, and then from the center to this edge 75. It matches the same thing here. So they work together now. This is the same as that. So I don't need to repeat dimension here. We know that is correct. If someone says, can you please prove that that is correct? I see it. Let me do this. If I click here and there, and that's 75, the system is going to say, hey, wait a minute. You already given the 75. Why you are repeating the same thing? I said, oh, I made a mistake. Let me just get rid of this. I didn't mean it. I was just trying to test it. Okay, undo. Just go undo. Just go back and change this to shade. See that? You check to see that you created 2 holes on that surface, and then you go check and you reverse the arrow, and then you make sure you just say a through hole. Okay, that's a through hole command. Extrude to intersect with all surfaces or through, and check. All right, so we have that. Now turn the plane back on, and you have a mid plane here, the mid plane. So if I wanted to mirror that, those two highlighted circle mirror, okay, with respect to this reference, and then we say check, you get the two holes on this side, and we are happy. And this is, we're done with the second solid models for this shock assembly. And I'm gonna take a break and I'll come back. Let me just, before I do that, let me just spend some time and render it, okay? And we're gonna pick maybe the red to show the face, and I'm going to show the blue, okay, blue, and then I'm gonna show the right side a little bit with a yellow color, okay. All right, so if I wanted to check to see if the orientation is correct, I'm gonna say front. Yeah, that's a front view. And this is the right side, perfect. And then we have the top, perfect, okay? So that's a good habit, do that, because it happened that in the previous, semester, that when I was teaching, and the students came up to me and said, oh, my part is flipping, what happened? And I said, because you picked the wrong sketching plane, so now you need to go back and fix it, or you start all over again, okay? So please check on that and enjoy. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will come back and we're gonna I'm gonna do more videos for you, okay? Have a good day.